What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Here We Golf. My name is Dan, flying solo this week. In this podcast this week, I'm going to be covering off the John Deere Classic that we had on the PGA Tour this week, the BMW International Open on the DP World Tour. Links Golf is back, going to be previewing the Scottish Open at the Renaissance Club, talking about the fallout from the final Open qualifying last week.
Better than most.
Many doubted we'd ever see it. So here it is.
So there we go, let's get into it. As I say, my name's Dan from Here We Golf. Just up on screen, just before we get into it, just a bit of admin if I can. Covered it off the last couple of weeks, but we're just over 3 weeks to go now until our 72-hole longest day golf challenge in aid of Macmillan cancer support. Basically just been trying to get a bit of miles in the legs recently. You might have seen across our socials, I've been doing some calisthenics workouts, just trying to get a bit of strength and stuff like that, because I basically don't do anything. I'm usually stiff after one round of golf, so I'm under no illusion that 4 rounds in one day is going to probably kill me off. But yeah, not underestimating the size of the challenge, but still going to try and do what I can to do the cause justice. As we all know, I think anyone and everyone has been either been affected or knows someone who's affected by cancer. So Macmillan Cancer Support does a huge amount of great work to support those who are suffering, and the families and loved ones of those who are affected also as well. Link will be in the description for our page to donate to this amazing charity. If you can give us a little bit of support ahead of this challenge, and yeah, we massively appreciate it, as much or as little as you can. Anything would be amazing. Really appreciate anything. Thank you to those who have donated so far as well. So just outside 3 weeks away from that challenge, as I say, that'll be at Notts End Golf Club up near Blackpool and Fleetwood on the 30th of July. Myself and Jay will be taking part in that. Teeing off at 5:30 in the morning, 25 miles worth of walking and golf in between, and hopefully get it done before sunset. So yeah, do us a massive favour and donate if you can, please. We massively appreciate that. Also, just wanted to cover off, I've posted on our socials this evening just a little idea I've come up with. I'm just going to pull it up on screen now. I've created a Slack community. Now, obviously, it's going to be run by us at Here We Golf, but it's basically aimed at anyone who is in this circle of golf content and golf, YouTube, social media content creators. Basically, we've been doing this for 8-9 months or so now, and we're under no illusion that it's obviously it's a mammoth task, and you got the people like Rick Shields and Peter Finch, and then the guys over in America, good as well. They've got a big massive head start of those who have decided in recent months to get it going. But what I figured we could do is, because I find that across social media, you might see someone you like on Instagram, you might see someone on TikTok, you might have a few YouTube channels, but they're all dotted about. And we can bring everyone into a centralized hub, get everyone engaging with each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and then it'll just be a place to basically just run ideas off each other and all engage together. And let's try and get our foot in the door together. I saw last week Howden Golf Club in Wales had the content creator classic of basically smaller content creators of the North Wales and northwestern England, and it went down a storm. It's the first of its kind that I've seen for the smaller creators, and it'd be just great if we could get something like that going regularly and watch it grow. And I thought if we all had a hub where we could communicate together, get all these events publicized in one place, get everyone talking about them. It'll be a place, as you can see there, let me just get the Slack up in front of me. So I'm on the collabs channel at the minute. The idea of that is for everyone to be able to put their ideas in there. Yeah, I'm going to be filming on such a date. Does anyone want to join in when we collaborate? And you can do 9 holes on one channel, 9 holes on the other, and things like that. To equipment marketplace, just a buy, sell, and swap kind of place, really. events. So like that Creator Classic, anything that's coming up, anything big, we can all be in there. We can all be discussing it. Um, with our podcast, we do the Fantasy DP World Tour. So again, that'll get people, anyone who wants to play in that and discuss. We could have a little bit of engagement around that. You've got the DP World Tour, Live Golf, and PGA Tour channels, just general golf discussion in there. And just basically a hub. So obviously we're all content creators, we're all people as well. So it'd be just a nice little social circle, really. All the sports chat. Channel there for any questions you want to put forward towards our podcast that we do every week, and any ideas as well that you might like to see on the show as well. So I just thought that might be a good idea, just try and get everyone all under one sort of just good idea to get everyone under sort of under one roof really, and then see if we can't try and all grow together and let ourselves be heard, because that's what we're all here to do really, aren't we? We're all sharing content in our own different ways. Um, you got the likes of Rick Shields and all them guys putting our long form stuff out, and then Max and Harry Golf are doing incredible things with their stingers, and they've become one of the biggest content creators out there. So everyone's got different ways of doing it, different ideas. But yeah, if we could all get under one roof and all be engaged and bouncing off each other, I just thought it might be a nice place rather than trying to speak to someone over on there on TikTok and then speak to someone over there on Instagram. And but yeah, so that's that anyway. If you want to join, I've shared the Slack channel across all of our social medias at Here We Golf Pod. The link will be in the description below as well. If you want to go over to linktree.com, it's also in there. There's also linktree.com/Here We Golf. Link to all our socials in there as well as the Slack. Okay, so let's get into some golf. PGA Tour this week was at the John Deere Classic, well known for its low scores, bit of a birdie fest typically, and so it proved to be again. We had Brian Campbell clinching his second win of the season. Um, Ended up in a playoff with Emiliano Grillo. I was frustrated. I messaged Jay at the time. So it'd be nice for Grillo to get it done, because I talked him up a few times over the last few weeks on our pod. Just seen a bit in him. It just seemed to be coming together for him. And I just thought that in this sort of weaker field, it'd be a good chance for him to show it well, and he did. And he's got into a type of lead there on the last day, and ended up coming undone in the playoff, unfortunately for him. Yeah, congrats to Brian Campbell. I think it was like over 500 to 1. You wouldn't sort of your colours to the mast with him beforehand. And Davis Thompson from last season's defending champ went into Sunday holding the lead as well. Sort of wasn't able to make a strong enough challenge, and faded a bit in the end in the tie for 18th. And we had Max Homer as well for finally showing up well and like being in contention. That caddy switch a few weeks ago seems to work wonders, because he could not make a cut, he could not do anything. And he seems to come back to life in recent weeks, so he's one to watch out for. He's on a bit of an upward trend and he's doing well. So hopefully he can keep that going. Um, it was a de facto qualifier for the Open as well, this one. So a number of players managed to get into the Open off the back of it. It's let me just get, sorry, obviously working by myself here, trying to wing it a bit. Got my slides in the wrong order. Bear with. Right, we're going to go to the BMW International Open over in Germany, the closing event of the European swing this week, and cracking event it was as well. Finished really tight in the end. Dan Brown, who's had a bit of an indifferent season. Jay mentioned a few weeks ago he saw that Dan came out and said that he can't believe he's playing so badly and his game's all over the place and he doesn't know where he's at with it. And then lo and behold, a few weeks later, he's top of the leaderboard picking up a check. And fair play to him, because he's had an emotional week. Lost a close a close friend the week before, and is it funny when it's not funny, things like that happen, and it just seems to kind of galvanise you. It's like as if he's done it for his mate, and it's also come together for him on Sunday. Jordan Smith as well, who's probably one of the favourites, probably one of the higher ranked players in the event, has has not done too shabbily either, finishing second, a couple of shots back, and Kazuma Kabori as well, he's having a relatively sort of solid season and coming with a third place finish there with a 9 under 63 on the final day. Just left himself a bit too much to do really. Davis Bryant led for the early part of the tournament, and he looks like he's going to be a player. Had a bit of a stumbled a bit on Saturday really, whilst everyone else continued to go low. He's come in with a 72, and that's kind of given him too much to do with a -4 on Sundays and quite a few shots back there. But usual protagonists, Laurie Cantor has showed up after a few really indifferent weeks at best. I think he's had a number of missed cuts. The sort of move over to the PGA Tour has kind of derailed him a little bit, but he's come back in with a tie for seventh there. Marco Penge down in 11th, could only get a couple under on Sunday, but he's had another good solid week. And David Puig as well would be a would be frustrated, but he was low early on Sunday, and it looked like it was going to be around for the ages, and then he's ended up stumbling on the back nine and finished -4. But the way the round started, you thought he was going to go low. So yeah, he's finished in tied for 11th as well, so he'd probably be a bit disappointed with that. But I think he's the best of the guys who showed up from Live. A few really disappointing efforts from the Live guys, which we'll come on to in a minute when I talk about the fantasy DP game. It was good to see Rasmus Niergaard Peterson having a good week as well, because he's played well in America, and then it's not really sort of done too much when he's been over this side of the pond. Um, Let me just come on to so yeah, we'll come on to the just cover off how the fantasy DP game went. I'm going to do it very briefly yet again, because honestly, I just can't get on going. Can't get anything going. Got my team up on screen here now, and just I mean, look at it on paper. Yeah, I had question marks over Sergio and tried to justify that by I thought if he's going to want to get in this Ryder Cup team, he needed to show up in these events that he's on the DP World Tour in, and he didn't. He's absolutely floundered massively. He's played terrible, and he's missed the cut comfortably. Jane Shaper, who's been a leading light on the DP World Tour this season, has missed the cut. Nikolai von Dellinghausen, he's come into form, played really well recently. Local lad. It all ticked all the boxes for me. Thought he was a good solid pick. Missed the cut. Captain Martin Coover, who's shot lights out of late, like really stunted prominence. He's had a win in, I think, two top fives or two top tens in this European swing. He was in contention for the European swing, battling out with Christopher Wrighton. I thought he was a solid pick. He had momentum. He'd shown that it wasn't just a one-off. So I went as far as to captain him. Missed the cut. And then Patrick Reed as well. He's just he you cannot tell when that lad's going to turn up. He won at Live last week. He's just been so inconsistent this season. When he has come over onto DP World Tour, he's been an absolute pony. But yeah, he's missed the cut for me as well, so I didn't stand a chance. So David Puig was my only guy who made the cut. So I was following it on Sunday, and even when he went like -6 early doors, I was still going backwards because I only had one guy in it on the weekend. So yeah, that's once I forget yet again. That's my tournament rank of 28k. Since the Masters. That's my 8th tournament rank of outside the top 25k. and I'm absolutely sliding down the leaderboard. Horrific. Let's just move on to Jay's team quickly. I think he's off on holiday. He couldn't film tonight because he's working, and then he's off on holiday tomorrow. So I think he might throw a video up himself whilst he's away. Let's just cover him off quick. Again, he's done considerably better than me, but again, nothing to write home about. So he's got that Odella Gosling and Reed, who's missed the cut, as we've just covered. Captain Yubo Ferguson missed cut. He's been he's again. I can't tell when he's going to turn up. This guy he's had a few good weeks recently, and then again, he's when you think you're going to fancy him, he goes and misses the cut. So I'd land on Jay there. Matty Smith showed up well. Good pick there from Jay. Tied for seventh. Sean Norris. See, I talked him up last week, and then he went and missed the cut, and then he's sort of kind of turned a bit of a blind eye to him this week, and he showed up okay, finishing in type 26. So that's got him a solid return, and then that's the same for myself as well. He's had Puig, so that's a tournament rank of 12,600 for Jay, and that's got him back up into the top 4K. So it's sent him the right way. So it's not an horrendous week for him. I'm sure he'll take it. If we go into our mini league leaderboard, here we go for pod on YouTube leaderboard. So as you'll see there, I've slipped right outside the top 10 now. I'm in 11th, I think. Just quickly run through the top 10. She's got a new person. I think my replacement there is looking at 10th, Will Ever FC. Renton 75, and the rest of them are pretty much ever present. Bankery Buddha, Premier Crew John Wood. Dennis Bashes, here we go. Jay's back in the top 5, snuck in there. Double bogey team. Bardu, Mr. Penn, and past captain's picks are starting to have a bit of a ding-dong battle at the top of the leaderboard there. Mr. Penn's currently slipped into second place with past captain's picks leading the way, but as you can see there, there's only just over 100 points in it, which is nothing. So interesting to see how that plays out as we get into the business end of the DP World Tour season. Still a long way to go, but we're just over halfway. We're coming into the closing swing now, but follow the closing swing, you've got the back nine. So still plenty of events before we even get into the Tour Championship sort of segment over in the Middle East. So let me just go back. Apologies. Scottish Open, Genesis Scottish Open, the Renaissance Club. Absolute cracking event this. Outside of the majors, you know, everyone talks about Sawgrass, TPC, and the Players as like one of the big. There's like the fifth major essentially, but if you love links and generally sort of British thing, isn't it? I guess. But I absolutely love this event because everyone wants to get a links prep in for the Open. This attracts the best field. It's only missing the live guys because obviously they're not eligible to play in it. But just looking at that entry list there, you've got pretty much most of the top 20 playing. Scotty, Rory, Xander, Justin Thomas, Colin, JJ Spawn, Ludwig Oberg, Sepp Straka, Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, Bob Mack, last year's defending champion, won at home. We'll be hoping he can go back to back. Playing quite well this season as well. Oh, tell you what, doing this on your own, your mouth dries up. Normally got a bit of a break in between when Jay's talking. But yeah, see if I can survive. So yeah, Bob Mack, $1.5 million prize he took home last year. Looks like it's an absolutely beautiful course. This right on the coast in Berwick, and it's just a cracking event. Perfect tune up for the Open. So I love this fortnight. Scottish Open followed by the Open. It's just proper test of golf. You don't see links the rest of the year. And links is like it's just one of it's just completely different to the park-on courses and just complete test of golf. There's so many different shot shapes and ways to think themselves around the course. The bunkers they go in, they get punished if they're in there. So you can hit a good drive down the middle of the fairway and then bouncing off into the rough. So there's a lot of fortune in it as well. But yeah, links golf is great. And it's great that the Scottish Open is back this week with such a stellar field. Scotty for me this week. Yeah, he's just a bit of a slow start to the season by his standards. It's not slow by any means, but by his standards, it was pretty slow after his ravioli incident. He is now, I'd say, pretty much in top form. And some weeks he doesn't even look like he's playing that well, but he is constantly thereabouts. And I fancy him to do well again this week. Rory McIlroy, a lot of people are going to be having eyes on him. He is obviously going home to Portrush next week, so I'll be hoping for a good prep, a good tune-up. Been a bit all over the place in recent weeks, though. Difficult to know what his driver's going to do. His driver's on song. He's obviously a big threat. Very inconsistent in recent weeks, though. So probably a watching brief for me on him. I'm gonna, because we've got the Fantasy DP World Tour segment as well. I'm just gonna go back over to that. So looking at this week, um, Scotty Scheffler is not a DP World Tour member. So if you see the red dots there and the grey dots, so basically denotes how many times you can pick a player throughout the season. If they're a DP World Tour member, you get 5 picks. If they're not, you only get 3. Now, obviously, Scotty has played in 3 majors so far. So a lot of people have picked him already, and that's reflected in his 9% ownership. I've been banging on about this all season. I wanted to hold him back. No, it it backfired in terms of the fact that he won. Um, he won the major the other week, but I I knew that was a potential risk. What I didn't anticipate was being absolutely dreadful and all the other weeks in between as well. Played absolutely rubbish. So I've slipped so far down the leaderboard that I need him to win this week. So I picked him and I captained him. So whilst he's so lowly owned, and not many people have got him, I need him to do well. Rory, probably slightly less owned than you might have anticipated there at 43%. Again, that's due to basically the fact that he's a lot of people have probably maxed out on him already. I've only used him 3 times. I'm not picking him this week again because that drive is not, it's just not nailed on for me. We've got the Open next week at home. He's going to be at the BMW PGA. He's going to be at obviously the closing events in Abu Dhabi and Dubai as well. When he is going to be next to 0% owned and the tracks that he dominates at. So whilst there's a bit of a doubt over his driving at the minute, I'm gonna be skipping him this week. Sander Schauffele, got him. I've picked him at the minute. He seems to have got over the rib injury now, starting to show up a bit better. I don't think he's 100% back to his best. But very capable, very capable. Got the likes of Justin Thomas, Morikawa. I saw today has got Billy Matt Fitzpatrick's former caddy on. I can't bloody remember his name. It's gone out my head. Um, Billy Foster on the bag this week, which will be interesting to see because he's not playing dreadfully, but he's not threatened. He's not been anywhere near his best. I don't think this season. Colin Morikawa. Ludwig Obig's having a bit of an off season as well. It's been a bit of a disappointment. A couple of missed cuts last time we see them on the majors. Steph Straka, who had a great sort of spring, has dropped off as well. We've sort of not seen him playing too well in recent weeks. And Victor Hovland is a player who is back and does interest me in this, very much so. He looks like he's been back to his best in recent months. A few of these players have had big changes in terms of the setup or the coaches or the caddies, and he's one of them. Been battling it for a couple of years, struggling playing well. But in recent months, it looks like he seems to have clicked. And he looks back and he's due a win for me. So I like Victor Hovland this week. Just moving on to the next page. It's just the top 2 pages of the Fantasy DP World Tour list in order of world ranking. Tommy lad, oh mate, you should be a major champion. Just heartbreak that. It wasn't a major. You should be a PGA Tour champion. Yeah, I could pick him this week. He's drawn up on links up around by us on the Southport courses. Proper good ball striker. So if the wind gets up as well, it suits him. But just wonder how that will have affected him, that PGA Tour runner up to Keegan Bradley the other week. I just wonder what sort of impact that'll have on him. And then say the defending champ Bob Mack. He's obviously shown he can do it around here. He's at home. He's got everything going in his favour. Been playing okay this season. The second recently. I like Bob Mack's chances this week. A couple of non-DP World Tour members there as well. Maverick McNeely, Harris English, Sam Burns, Corey Connors, Sung J M all showing up as well. Just a class field. Looking forward to it, really am. I'd like to see Justin Rose do well. He did. He sort of gets him. He's mentioned before that he wants to get himself ready for the majors. That's basically what he focuses his career on now these days. But he's not showing up well in them. Well, he did since the Masters, the big events. He's not really done too great in. So I'm gonna have to pass over Justin this week. But I do hope that he proves me wrong. So based on that, this is my team this week. 9% owned Scotty Scheffler. As you can see, my season ranks back down to 8,400. It's just garbage. So yeah, hoping he can propel me back up. I'll be jumping over a lot of people if he wins this week, and that might save a bit of face. Xander's in there at the minute. Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, Bob Mack, and then Sam Burns is a player who's. We just go back to what his ownership was at the time, prepping that to 18%. So it's not a lot. That's quite lowly owned, and he's one who had quite a quiet year last year, but he kicked into form in recent months, and I think he's capable, and yeah, like his chances. Jay sent me his team over again. I think he might do a bit himself and post a video up later in the week, but this is what he's gone with so far. I can see why with Tommy and Bob Mack, as I've just discussed. Justin Thomas is playing well this season. Does seem to be back, and a big win is it's just around the corner. I think probably a solid pick because we get 5 picks of Justin Thomas and he's not over here very much, so it's a good opportunity to use him really him this week and next week probably. Xander Schauffele, it's the same for me. It's his capability more than anything, I think. Matt Fitzpatrick is a good shout. I've mentioned last couple of weeks there's been green shoots from him since the caddy switch. In the weaker events on the PGA Tour last week, he showed up really well with the top 10 finish. Wasn't quite strong enough to threaten. Is he good? Is he showing enough? This is a much stronger field than that. He's got a lot of big guys in front of him that he needs to come past. But um, it's I think he's playing well enough to probably make the course. And you want if you can get through to the weekend, 6 cut makers, you're getting a decent score. And just the fact that I've had 1 or 2 making the cut every week for the last bloody 6 weeks or 8 weeks has it's just ruined me. And then Ludwig Goldberg, not a fan of that pick, as I just mentioned there. He's out of sorts this season. But as we know with Jay, his team is subject to change and he likes to tinker. So you may well see a completely different team when we review the Scottish Open next week. But generally, I think that's it for the fancy DP World Tour side of things. Just trying to. Don't think there's nothing left to cover off on in terms of fancy DP World Tour. Just want to, since we podded last week, we podded on Monday last week, and then we had the final qualifying on Tuesday for the Open, which it's like an event in itself. Absolutely cracking day that. Jay got himself down to West Lancs for the afternoon. You may have seen him putting some footage out. There's no sort, you're not behind the ropes or anything there. You get super close to these guys. Really sort of raw, unedited, unfiltered access to some top players playing some quality golf. So yeah, I was a bit gutted I was in work to miss that, but the following the leaderboard throughout the day, so it was like an event in itself. You get the live leaderboards nowadays, chopping and changing throughout the day. Obviously, there was a lot of eyes on Peter Finch, who managed to get through first round of qualifying, got himself into final qualifying, played up at Dundonald, and just never seemed to get it going all day. From what I saw on his socials, he was particularly in the first round, played pretty well. Just didn't hold any putts. And then the second round, I don't know if he got tired or whether he was trying to force it. But there was a few wayward shots in that second round, and he ended up with a pair of plus threes. I think. I think he finished 3 over on both rounds. But yeah, massive credit to him. It's a big. I mean, you can just see by the amount of players playing and the quality of players who didn't qualify, how tough it is. Yeah, so massive credit to him. Fair play. Hope he goes again next year and tries to go one better. We did have players like Lee Westwood comfortably advanced in his qualifying. Hidalgo made it through. There was a couple of nervy ones as well. Oliver Lindell, Finnish guy who's on the DP World Tour for the first time this season. He was leading for a long way and stumbled on the back nine on the second round. Ended up in a playoff and then just got through in the playoff. I'm sure he would have been absolutely infuriated with himself if he'd have let that slip. But I think that the standout moments, it was class. It was at West Lancs. Estonian Richard Tedder, 20-year-old amateur. What a story! What an absolute story. Go over onto our socials or YouTube channel and watch the videos we put up if you've not seen it yet. So Richard Tedder, um, he played some solid golf all day. Gets himself into I think it was a four-way playoff potentially. Sees off a couple of them on the first 2 holes. I'm going off memory here now. Missed the first couple of. I think he goes through a couple of playoff holes, and then he's hit this booming drive, and he's got a nice little flick in with a wedge for his approach shot, and holes it for eagle. And what a way to get yourself into your first ever major championship. 20-year-old amateur, first ever Estonian to get into the event. It was just a brilliant way to do it, and I absolutely love seeing that. Got relatives over in Canada who are Estonian, so it was nice for us to have that little moment as well. So really hope he does himself justice in Portrush next week. Um, we also had announcements of the qualifying is going to have a last chance qualifier next year as well. So the week leading up to the Open, I think it's going to be 18-hole shootout for 12 players on the Monday before the Open next year for a last chance qualifier. So that'll ramp up the hype and the anticipation for it as well. So on top of these final qualifiers that we've just had, there's another one as well. So they're really doing a lot to try and get the engagement in early for this major, which I mean it doesn't necessarily need it. It's a massive, incredible event anyway, which attracts massive crowds and viewers. But yeah, looking forward to next summer. It's up here in Birkdale. We'll be going, provided I'm successful in the ballot, unless anyone else wants to send a ticket my way. And well, mine and Jay's way if you can. But yeah, that will really looking forward to that one. Yeah, I think that rounds up this week in golf. To be honest, we've had Brian Campbell getting his second win of the season on the PGA Tour. Dan Brown stole the show at the BMW International Genesis Scottish Open. Covered off. Got me hopes pinned on Scotty this week. As a lot of people have used him up in the fantasy game. I'm there clinging on for dear life. If he doesn't win this week, that's my season done, I think. Um, can Rory get it done? Can Rory get another major under his belt and have a decent tune up ready for next week at his homecoming at Portrush? Needs to be seen. And I think that's it. I'll leave it there. As I can barely speak because my throat's drying up. Doing this on my own today. I'm not sure if Jay's back next week. Actually, it might just be me again. So I'll see you next week if it's me. Keep an eye out during the week for Jay's video. I think he's putting up a little bit about his fantasy team and previewing the Scottish Open and his thoughts on that as well. And as you can see on screen there, we've got our 72-hole longest day golf challenge coming up at the end of the month, just over 3 weeks away. So please donate anything you can. Even if it's just a couple of quid, just goes a long way. just really appreciate any support we can get. 72 holes in Nottingham Golf Club on the 30th of July, raising some as much money as we can for this amazing charity. And yeah, look forward to seeing you next week. As I say, if you missed it at the start, I'll just pull it back up again. The Slack channel is up and running. Link's going to be in the description. I don't think I put it in there yet, but it's all over our socials, and it's on Linktree as well. If you want to come and join us, engage with us in chat, come up with any ideas for the podcast. If anyone wants to collaborate with us in terms of either coming on the pod, having the chat, if you want to have collaboration in terms of doing some golf content together, we'd be absolutely up for that. We want to get to know as many people as we can in this community. We want to grow. We want to help everyone grow, bouncing off each other. You see how all the other and the large content creators are doing these days with all the collaborations they're doing. Finch and Shields collabing with the good guys and Fat Perez, Brian Brothers, all working in between each other. So all those smaller creators, I think we should, if we can get together, get our heads together, and bounce off one another, help each other grow, and hopefully we can get a bit of a foot in the door in terms of the in terms of the content creator scene. And let's go. I've been Dan from Here We Golf, and I will see you next week. Take it easy.
Better than most. Many doubted we'd ever see it.